همکنون شرق تهران حوالی پادگان تختی.
سوای کرد.
اینجا هرویه، فکر کنم سمت پاسداران، اون یکی هم ونکه. زدن 3-4 تا جا رو اینجا زدن. صدای هواپیما هم بود.
حمله یک تیر.
اینجا 30 کیلومتری سایت اتمی نتنز. نظر شما در مورد حمله اسراییل به ایران چیه؟
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. من ایرانیم، مرد اندیشه‌ام، من آن سرو سبز پر از ریشه‌ام. نه از باد سختی بیفتد تنم، نه سیلی برآرد زبون ریشه‌ام. اگر دشمنی قصد ایران کند، هجوم آورد رو به شیران کند. من آنم که رستم بود خویش من، که او مرد یکتاست هم کیش من. سپاهی برآرم ز قلب وطن، ز شیر مردان ایرانی پیلتن. زمین و زمان را دگرگون کنم، به خون سرش دشت پر خون کنم. چنان درس بر جند دشمن دهم، به جای وطن گور بر دشمن دهم.
penetrating bomb is dropped from the aircraft, it can rely on its powerful kinetic energy to continue drilling down in the direction of the sharp warhead, just like a nail being driven into wood, without detonating immediately. At the same time, because its casing is made of high-strength materials, it can protect the internal structure from damage during impact. In order to achieve precise strikes, the delay fuse at the back serves to delay detonation until the penetrating bomb reaches the set depth, at which point it will detonate the explosives according to specific instructions. This design not only destroys enemy underground factories or laboratories, but also minimizes excessive damage to surface targets.
I think also very importantly, Prime Minister Netanyahu has wanted to do this for decades. He's never believed in the diplomatic path. No American president has allowed him to do it until President Trump. So the question is, what next? Where does this go? And what is the ultimate strategy and the ultimate goal? I think the absolute fact is that the whole world has always been concerned about Iran's nuclear ambitions. There was a moment of actual successful diplomacy which culminated in the JCPOA in 2015. In other words, the nuclear deal that was enshrined at the UN. Iran was declared totally in compliance of its responsibilities, even though the West did not lift all the sanctions as it should have done. What happened then? President Trump decided, under pressure from Bibi Netanyahu, who has never wanted these deals ever. He has always wanted to destroy Iran's capability, right? Under pressure from Netanyahu and then MBS, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, he pulled out thinking he could do a better deal. He couldn't. He achieved nothing except Iran enriching to a higher degree. So Iran now has approximately 400 kilograms of enriched uranium to 60%. That is almost at breakout. It can easily go to 90% if it wants to, and that's 8 bombs. So people are very concerned. But there were these talks going on, and my reporting suggests that far from they didn't want to go to a deal, Iran was really wanting to go to a new deal. And just before these attacks, I heard that the head of the negotiation and the delegation was feeling optimistic about this round of talks.
The Iranian delegation.
Yes, the Iranian delegation, exactly. And I think we absolutely do have to take a moment and say that President Trump, up until now, has failed on all the big foreign policy issues that he promised that he would solve and quickly. And there is no leadership. He's hollowed out his negotiating teams, his foreign policy teams, his national security teams. It's all gut. It's all, I'll give them 60 days and on day 61 we'll bomb them. Anybody knows that an actual negotiation takes months, if not years. That's what the JCPOA was. So it really is a question of why Israel did it now, and it may be because of the amount of stockpile at 60%, which could be turned into 90%.
در مورد قدرت و نفوذ ایپک در کنگره آمریکا فقط کافیه به گفته مدیر اجرایی ایپک آقای هاوارد کور مراجعه کنیم. آقای هاوارد کور در ژانویه 2003 در مصاحبه‌ای با روزنامه نیویورک سان اینطور گفت: یکی از دستاوردهای ایپک در سالهای گذشته این بود که ما خیلی چراغ خاموش تونستیم لابی کنیم تا آمریکا به عراق حمله کنه. حمله به عراق اصلا نفعی برای آمریکا نداشت و خیلی ها اون رو یکی از بزرگترین اشتباهات آمریکا میدونن. اما لابی اسرائیل اونقدر قدرتمند عمل کرد که تونست همه ارتش آمریکا رو به خاورمیانه بکشونه و صدام حسین رو کنار بزنه.
When you said that George W. Bush, which was our last Republican president, a man I respect greatly, a person that we really fought for when he was up against a lot of pressure, that he lied to get us in the war in Iraq. That stung me very deeply. Okay. I don't believe that. I'm just wondering, given some time passing, perhaps you've rethought that. Would you be willing to rethink that?
Well, a lot of people agree with what I said, and I'm not talking about lying. I'm not talking about not lying. Nobody really knows why we went into Iraq. The Iraqis did not knock down. It was not Saddam Hussein that knocked down the World Trade Center. Okay,
that's just what you said was they lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction, and there were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass.
Well, there are a lot of people that think that. There were a lot of people that think. Look, bottom line, there were no weapons of mass destruction. They said there are weapons of mass destruction. I was against the war when it started.
You think the president of the United States, George W. Bush, lied?
Well, look, I'm not going to get you a vote, but that's okay.
I'm just giving you another shot.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you very simply. It may have been the worst decision going into Iraq, may have been the worst decision anybody has made, any president has made in the history of this country. That's how bad it is, okay? Here's what happens. We have spent $2 trillion in Iraq and fighting Iraq. 2 trillion. 2 trillion. Thousands of lives, right? We got nothing. We have nothing. We're not even there. We can't even make a phone call right now.
But to his question,
I'm trying to separate.
Let me tell you, do I know?
Do you believe he lied or did he?
I can tell you this. I don't, whether he lied or not. He went into Iraq. It was a horrible decision.
سناتور ارنست هالینگ نماینده کارولینای جنوبی در پایان دورش در کنگره اینطور گفت: در مورد اسرائیل بجز اون چه که ایپک دیکته میکنه اتخاذ سیاست دیگه اصلا امکان پذیر نیست.